Alright. Hello, hi, howdy. More Ace Attorney investigations. Woo! So I looked at the same video that I used as, like, reference, last time. To see how far we were in this case, and we are kind of a chunk further? Kinda, sorta? I don't know. I'm just gonna play today until I feel like not playing anymore. Straight out, that's just the plan right now. Why did I get message? Okay. I'm actually gonna tell them I'm streaming. So if responses get slow, my bad. Dead. Yeah, that works. Okay. Alright. Now that that's out of the way. So yeah, we're like kind of... I closed it now. I closed the thing I had up, but we're like... I think we just passed the halfway mark by like watching this person's video on it by an hour? So like... I don't know if we have any more to be continued spots that are coming up. I don't really know, but we are coming towards the end. Which, by the way, it feels very strange. It feels like we hit an end, but then right at the end, she's like, "Oh, by the way, I wasn't the killer." Ooh, and it's like, all right, well that changes a lot. That kind of changes my entire perception of this case. Asshole. Oh, something else actually to talk about before we get into Ace Attorney. I finished, me and Chili finished Geets yesterday, right? Yeah, yes, yesterday. That shit hit me like a freight train. That shit was crazy as fuck, bro. I'm still not really over it to an extent, but I want to get a Geets Mark 9 buckle now. Like, I really do. Which is just how susceptible I am to what essentially is a big commercial. But, like, dude, that shit hit me so hard. Like, my God, like, so much happened. We watched, like, the last 6 episodes in one sitting, and it was just like, oh my God, it was so fucking good. Like, I really enjoyed Geets. It feels kind of like almost wrong to say this, but I think I prefer Geets over Xaid. I think Geets is a better series. I don't feel... Here's the thing. I don't entirely feel good when I say that. Because Geets is... Or not Geets. Xaid is such a, like... Like, it just feels like it would be my season. In the sense of, like, everything it's got going on in it is stuff I fuck with, even down to, like, its fucking color scheme in the gamer driver. But I'm like, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I kind of prefer, like, I kind of prefer Geets. And it doesn't, like, the fucked up part is it doesn't even feel close. it doesn't... Like, it doesn't even feel like a competition, really. It's like my choices, like, I just, like, prefer Geats so much more. But it feels wrong. That feels wrong that that's true. You know? It's so, it was a show. It was such a good show. Me like Geats. And then fucking Ichinose pops up at the end chasing Opera 1. It's like, who's this guy? Like, just the shot of Ace looking at fucking Ichinose running around, and you're just kind of like, who's this guy? I don't know. Just the idea of Ace, like, seeing... Which, by the way, I don't even know if I want to say, because it is kind of like direct spoilers to the ending of Geats. Which, by the way, if you're a Super Sentai fan or a Kamen Rider fan, I'm going to pull up the game while I say this. If you're, like, a Super Sentai fan or a Kamen Rider fan or any kind of fan, play that game. Watch that fucking show. And I've just realized I have not pulled up chat on my phone. But watch Geats. It's so fucking good. Like, it is genuinely the best Kamen Rider I've watched. And that's not a big list, because I've only finished 2 seasons, including the one I'm claiming is the best. But it just is, man. Okay. Let me pull up chat. Get Necros off my fucking screen. Sorry. I don't like that guy. Alright. Let's just get right into it, because I've been stalling enough. I don't know what we're getting into. I don't know what's up. I don't know. You know? March 15th, 12:07 a.m. Theatrum Neutralis Lobby. Haven't done that voice in a while. So now we know who the Yotagarasu really was. And yet, there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved. Which feels like it shouldn't be the case, in this case, but whatever. Like how the weapons cross the country lines, for example. The 2 countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Let's see what's left. Okay, he's still dead. Good to know. Yotagarasu Key is still related, unfortunately. Alabastian knife. The fake statue. Yeah. Counterfeit bills. Broken spear. The real statue. The post-it notes that are funny looking. Flowers that I just don't know how the fuck that's at all relevant. Hot dog, which feels less relevant. A guitar pick, which somehow feels less relevant. Fountain spouts, I don't know if we're still talking about the fires anymore, but like, I guess this is still relevant. Photo of Yotagarasu, it's literally just a piece of cloth someone threw. Okay, we are still talking about the fires. Wire of the clock. Revolving fireplace wall, the hair sticks that have dirt in them, or like something on the, some dirt on the tips. The calling card thing, which is so fucking cool, I still love this. And then the videotape of the KG. Was that there before? I don't know if that was there whenever we saw it last. No, it was, okay. This blood belongs to Detective Faith, who was killed in my office by Mr. Portsman. Oh, that's because... Oh, it's from... Okay. Sadly, it would appear that he was partnered with anyone but a good prosecutor. Damn, alright. The KG8 incident. This was the case in which the unwitting CCU was murdered, when she was to expose the connection between the Amano group and the smuggling ring. This was also when the group, the Yatagarasu, was first formed. Are the events of this case connected to that case from 10 years ago somehow? Fucking probably, if it's still here. Anyways. Hey! There's a VCR here, sir! Now we can see what's on the tape Detective Bad gave us. Well, he's not a detective anymore. We literally had like a whole thing. That happened in the last fucking chapter too. They were like, Detective, no, you're not a detective anymore. Mr. Bad. And then like later when they addressed him, they still called him Detective Bad. It's like, what was the point of doing that? Oh, my controller disconnected because I had to rearrange my face. Face? Body, whatever. Please connect. There we go. This piece of evidence from the KG8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us. Sure thing, sir! Stop! Oh, hey! Cool. This man, it's Manny Cochin. This man, it's Manny Cochin. And he's holding a knife in his hand. This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance of an apartment building. Well, no, it doesn't. That's not where they put security cameras, but I'll let it slide. An apartment building? How do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on the read the summary file on the KG8 incident, and the crime scene was the victim's own apartment. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building. At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed. However, no one could ever find it. Yes, somehow someone was able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece, and why someone would want to hide it. But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to the case we're working on now, sir. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader. Where? Where? Well, maybe if you weren't skimming through it like that. Wait, what was that? Huh? That bit you played just now. Please show it to me again. Right here. Oh. This car. This is something we cannot overlook. Why's that, sir? No, like, for real, why? Look here, Detective Gumshoe. I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say it's the flag. That's the only thing here that even feels remotely anything, is the flag. This is the national flag of the Principality of Credopia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know this to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing here?
Oh, and I'm here! Ah, Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth. So you were here all this time. Let me just hobble over, don't mind me.
Ambassador Alba.
Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. If only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I am truly sorry.
This wasn't your fault, sir. This had nothing to do with how careful you were.
You idiot, Quercus! You couldn't chase after a simple thief!
I think that's just what his voice is gonna be. I feel like it wasn't what his voice was originally, but fuck it, that's just what he is now.
Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that?
Excuse me?
I heard you apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down, and we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation, whatever, fuck you. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel.
But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues.
Why don't we leave the rest to the Alabastian and Babalese police?
Ambassador, we are so close! Just a little more and...
Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right?
That's true, however... As he said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabastian soil, in which case we are nothing but foreigners in their land. This is really where our... Oh. That's insane how I got that wrong. Is this really where our investigation ends? Hold it! Hold it! Shifu! We found Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Shifu, this way! Yo! I think I remember how to do the voice enough to not have to do, not Von Karma, Zykes. Agent Lang, you're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor.
Agent Lang! Why have you returned?
Because I have to solve this case no matter what.
Well, I'm sorry to inform you. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable.
I just got back and I'm already being disrespected. What the fuck? At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Not so fast! Ambassador Alba, I get it now. I really do.
Oh? I'm very glad you understand how I feel.
No, not that. I don't give a fuck about what you're saying. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer behind it... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. You... No? The killer? Do you really mean that, Agent Lang? Everyone had to stutter. It was that shocking of a sentence. And also, it is a shocking sentence. Wolves don't lie. Not a saying, but I will screenshot it because teehee OCs. Anyways.
Then who is it?
Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. There was another? That was all Sheena. Lang Ji says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. Wow, that was like an actual... He had something there. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damask 2's killer? I'll tell you who. It's gonna be completely wrong, isn't it? It was you, Francisca Von Karma. Okay, it was completely wrong. All right, cool. They're not gonna make Von Karma a killer. They're not gonna make Von Karma a killer this far into, like, the Ace Attorney franchise. They're not going to. And if they did, I would have known about it way before Right the Fuck Now. I was the killer? Hey, wait, but that's impossible. Yeah. Although that whip is actually quite... Yo! It's quite that. Hold your tongue and that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? I was until right now. It's like, I thought about it, doesn't make sense. Yeah, I am. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey, sis. I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, it's kind of changed a little bit, but whatever. He called you into his office, right? Yes, he did, but what does that have to do with anything? I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabast and Babal, did you not? Objection! Fucking chill out! And where is your evidence that I am a killer? Oh, fucking, I moved, like, slightly, man. Mother, are we dead ass? Are we dead ass? Are we dead ass? Are we dead? Thank you. Not so fast! I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close. Hold on. Sorry, I had to sneeze. I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission?
No. With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I?
Good! Now let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset. Not that I blame her. Like, Jesus Christ, you're being accused of murder. And you definitely didn't do it. The only game where you reasonably would have been able to be a murderer was your debut. Other than that, it makes no fucking sense. I expected that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. Hold it! Hold it! Agent Lang. As someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up your superior. Oh, and so that I may clean up my superior's mess. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, in that case, I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabasta yet. If you like Kay in, then you gotta let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm all fired up and raring to go. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Sounds like this is gonna be real Sounds like this is going to get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride.
Very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. Hence the autosave I just saw in the corner.
I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go. Alright, I guess we go. March 15th, 12:53. It took us a fucking hour to get here. Alabastan Embassy Ambassador's office. Okay, now let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochin's body was found over in the Secretariat's office in Babal. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabast's ornamental knives. I could not read that. Then the body of Damask II, Mr. Kashino, I guess. Kashino, N-O-U, that would be no, I think. Mr. Kashino was found here in the Alabastian ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was this Prima Dew statue. And that this is actually Babal's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it, sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off. Objection? Agent Lang, do you understand the full implications of what you are saying? Of course I do, sis, and I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find, so you killed someone? Yeah, that tracks. And so, while people were distracted by the Yatagarazu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that officer, officer? How in the fuck did I do that? Alright. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire. Objection? No! Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons? Huh. Don't worry, I plan to show that you're the culprit behind that, too. You had permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines. Oh. Oh. Wait. Holy shit. That's the first character to ever stop her from whipping them, I believe. That shit was crazy. Hey now. Look, sis. I thought I already told you. I'm not messing around here. This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring, but Sheena certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. That delivery I did felt weird, but whatever, I'm not gonna. He is right in saying that she is a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring... Dude, I can't even, like, lean my arm slightly without it just disconnecting the controller. Could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already! Francisca, you need to calm down, because you only know the facts of the Alabastian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole and therefore solve it. What? But don't worry, I am taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damask 2. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damask 2 is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation. No pressure. As long as I have no good counter-argument to his hypothesis, then the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor, let's get started. Yes, let's. Alright, what you got for us? Border-crossing weapons. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin. And the murder weapon in the killing of Damask 2 is Babal's Prima Due statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. So as long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Francisca will remain a suspect? You got it, Mr. Prosecutor. So why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? Ooh, it's really hurting my throat. Give me a sec. Oh my god. Alright. I've worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible. Your boss. Agent Lang, what I've heard from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intensely on that which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Lang Ji never said anything to that effect. Ooh! Oh shit! You prosecutor! Who do you think you are, speaking of Lang Ji's proverbs like that? I don't need his proverbs, because my words are all you will need to see the truth. Alright, he's feeling himself. Rebuttal. One of Alabast's knives is... we're just gonna press everything because I really don't... It's 4 statements. There's no way it's in there. I concur that this knife crossed over country lines. Good, but that's not the only thing that did. We mustn't forget about the other weapon. The knife was only one... An insane, useless press. Alright.
Hold it!
So you're saying that the Prima Due statue was also brought over by Francisca? Like I told you before, that's the only way it makes sense. Hold it? And how exactly did she bring it over? I haven't figured that out yet. That's a rather weak statement considering how sure you are. Maybe, but there is one thing I do know for sure. Oh my god, somehow these two objects were able to penetrate two countries' impenetrable security. Why do I feel like... No. We're just gonna press again.
Hold it.
Impenetrable? I should hardly think so. Not so fast! You've seen the top of the wall between the two countries, right? Who in the world could cross over that? Yeah, not even I could climb over that thing with all that barbed wire. The only way into either embassy is through the doors in the Theatrum Neutralis. So, the only way for the knife and the Primadou statue to traverse the two countries is through those security camera-equipped, well-guarded doors. Oh, for real? We're not gonna say the photo of Yatagarasu. We're not, because that's a cloth.
Hold it.
Just give me a sec. Was Francisco really the only person to have traveled between the two countries? According to the guards at both doors, she's the only one to go back and forth. The sis there was in Alabas when the Yatagarasu showed. And then, just before you guys found Mr. Cochin's body, she entered Babal. I think we can assume that that's when she brought the knife into Babal. Objection? Then how do you explain the Primadou statue? Haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves that the killer must have also traveled across country lines. The only things to cross the border are the Primadou statue and the knife? I should hardly think that those are the only two items, Agent Lang. Wait. Okay, I'm looking at this entirely differently now. But was swapped with the real one is originally from Alabasta. Right. Yatagarasu still, that's nothing. Cause of death. Something else that crossed? Photo of Yatagarasu. See, I feel like that's what we have. No, I pressed the wrong thing. That's not what I needed. Objection, you're wrong and stupid, and I personally don't like you. Somehow these two objects are able to penetrate. Give me a sec. I don't want to lose points for this, but I have two ideas. And they both come from the same image.
Objection!
Yeah, I figured that didn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. Hold on. No, this one. And then...
Objection!
Agent lying about this piece of evidence. Never mind. What the fuck, man? Hold on. One of the Alabasta knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin, and the murder weapon is in the killing. And Edgeworth's statement is the only things to cross the border are the Primadou statue and the knife. I should hardly think that those are the only two items. Right, they make it sound like one of the Alabasta knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin. And the murder weapon is the killing of Damask 2 is Babal's Primadou statue. No, this is Babal's Primadou statue. This was in the fire. This is Alabas. Is that just the answer? Is Babal is the Primadou statue?
Objection!
Really? But that's not true, right? My brain hurt funny. What the fuck? Why do I not get this? I was not... Okay. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin. Which, yeah, we can confirm is real. What else crossed the line? And also, what would I... These two objects are able to... I feel like this would have to be the place where it's like, oh, that's not the only thing. But how found in the open air stage, it's also wet for some reason. It means nothing right now. Present for embassy staff, Miss Oldbag took and ate few from the dressing room. Means I don't see how that means anything. Some of these two objects were able to penetrate two countries. I already tried that. If I do this, is it gonna be like... I just want to know where to... Okay, so you're stupid. Anyway, so I do present from here, but what? These two objects were able to penetrate. Is it this?
Objection!
Okay, I had the right evidence before. I just didn't do it on the right. Okay. Agent Lang, those two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight. Oh. Damask 2 was killed with Babal's Primadou statue, yes. But if that's the case, then tell me, where did Alabast's Primadou statue go? To Babal. Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. I guess so. But you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items. Only that the sis is the only one who could have done it. Oh god, it's really hurting my throat now. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabast and Babal is her. Nope, let me turn the lights off. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person, one who paid a visit to both sides of the wall.
Objection!
Is that really so, Agent Lang? I feel like I know who it is. It's gotta be Peleno, right? Peleno did. I think Sheena did. You're the ambassador of Alabast, so there's no way you did. Well, no, but he's the ambassador of Babal. One of them is the answer. What a lousy time to try and bluff your way out of this. I checked out what the guards said along with the security camera's footage. I'm not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily. But suppose there was some other way other than through the theater doors. What other way? The other entity that managed to cross the border. Oh, entity. If I point it out, it's not a person. It would open up a whole new possibility. And though I hesitate to bring this out, as long as this entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. Looks like you've got some clever idea in mind. I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence. Okay, yeah, it's the flying thing. Fine then. Let's see this piece of evidence that will show me this other route. This piece of evidence will show another way to move between the two countries. Okay, you know what? Actually, it could be this. But I'm gonna start with this, with the Yatagarasu, and then if wrong, I'm gonna go with the hair sticks. But I'm gonna start. Those are the hair sticks. That's why the flowers mean something. It's because they are the hair sticks. They're the flower sticks. Stems. They're the flower. Okay.
Take that!
I'm gonna start here. Yep. Agent Lang, I'm sure you are familiar with this unforgettable photo. That supernatural photo? Like I said before, humans can't fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. And don't start claiming that Sheena somehow grew wings. I wasn't going to. I wouldn't dream of claiming that because that's fucking stupid. Won't allow you to take back what you've said either. I'll say it again, it's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. Well, one could argue. So you'd better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. But how can I prove who it was that flew through the air in this photo? Wait, not humanly possible. Eureka! Very well, you will have your explanation. Sounds like you have a good idea shimmering inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo... The photos... doesn't have to be a... Wait. Nope, you've lost me again. You've lost me again. I can't present a profile. You've lost me again. There's no way it's coaching. Because how was this caught? Taken after the first fire and the fourth... Okay, but in what direction? It's going to... What country is that? Alabast? Yeah, it's going to Alabast. There's no way it's coaching. It's during the fires. After the first fire. No! That doesn't make sense. It was found in Babal. Where am I? It's being sent to Alabasta, so I'm gonna assume.
Take that!
I have no idea if I'm right. This is the face behind it, not so fast. I thought I said that you better have a good explanation. I can't make heads or tails of what you're trying to say with that. Yeah, was I wrong? Come on, give me a fucking... That wasn't me reading the line. Hurry up and show me what the shadow that's flying through the air is. Even had you not barked that at me, I would have gladly done so, Agent Lang. I need to go over it one more time. Please give me a clue. The man-shaped shadow that flew through the air, wrapped in darkness of the night. Its real shape can only be this one thing. I want to save, I want to save, I want to save. No, before he. Damn it!
Take that!
Oh, I just picked the wrong statue. I feel so stupid. Naturally, the shadow is the third smuggled object, the Primadou statue replica. You can't be serious. The Yadakarasu, or rather Callisto U, which was also a fake name, dressed as Agent Sheena, was inside Babal. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Not so fast, what the fuck are you talking about? Mr. Prosecutor! Left out a very... Someone home? You left out a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air? And how exactly did she do that? He is literally baring his fangs at me. But he, unfortunately, while doing that, has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier, flashback? Hey sis, remember that just before the Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office, right? So just before the murder, Francisco was called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then that may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. Oh? What are you up to now, pretty boy? Ooh, call me pretty boy. What you trying to get into, Lang? What you trying to get into, little... Earlier, oh my god, pretty boy. Me? Gonna move on from that, but I'll keep note of that. That's going in my organizer. And that's going to be some logic later tonight, if you know what I'm saying. Earlier, you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. I'm hearing stuff outside. I'm gonna go on the BRB screen super quick because I need to see if everything's okay. Or like if anything's happening. I'll be right back. Okay, I couldn't see anything out of the norm, so I don't know. I got no idea. Pretty sure I heard something though, but we're just gonna move on because I can't find it, so. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. Yeah, I guess I did say something like that. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. Ha! Do you really think a criminal would tell us the honest truth? How dare you? As I've said numerous times, there's absolutely no proof that I am the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I don't. Like, in the slightest. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time, which is why I would like to hear about it from you. Francisca, I feel that I still don't have enough information, which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case. All right. So, what would you like me to talk about? I'd like you to please testify to your movements up until you came into this room. Alright, let's try this your way for a change. But if what she has to say turns out to be a waste of time, I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl no! As you wish. Let's get this shit going. The movements in Alabast. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in Alabastian Embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. Right. Oh, shit. I forgot to make that phone call. I might have to do that quick once I get into here. Hold on. Francisca, I want us to make this clear from the very beginning. So, what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. I see. For now, the only way that I can see for us to break out of this situation is to ask Francisca about her testimony in more detail. Alright. I gotta make a phone call, so once the music starts, I'm gonna... Okay. I'm gonna save quick, and then I do act... Unfortunate that I went, like, back and forth on this. I have to make, like, a phone call that I forgot to make today, so I'll be right back. Again, sorry. Alright, I'm back again. Sorry about that. It wasn't even, like, I called to a real-life thing, and then it didn't even fucking matter, so that's awesome. I could have just continued. Anyways... As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian Embassy. Press that, because I don't know. I thought your duty was to fact-find anything you could about the smuggling ring. Yes, that was my job. But upon hearing that the Yatagarasu had sent a calling card to the embassy, Ambassador Alba called upon us to protect the embassy instead. That incident 7 years ago, That incident 7 years ago. Or have you forgotten what happened here back then? Anything related to that case we were involved in appears to be rather painful for her. It's not exactly one I can readily forget myself. Huh. It looks like you remember the case after all. Of course I do. I inspected every location, every possible escape route, and every aspect of the police's security detail. And I did all that. Then after that... After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office. Which we're gonna press. Hold on, I need to check something. Okay. So you were at the theater as well? Yes, and I suppose you were also there as well watching that stage show? Well, yes. So Francisco was there. Well, after the show was over and I saw the Steel Samurai off, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation.
Hold it!
Let's just press everything at this point, fuck it. Why did you need to confirm to the degree of preparation for even the speech. For security's sake, of course. What other reason could I have had? No one knew just how the Yatagarasu had planned on getting in, right? Yes, I suppose you're right. And in the end, the Yatagarasu did choose to appear in the Rose Garden, even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow. Who would have thought that she would use a shadow? What? Calm down, Francisca. Why are you hitting me? She must still be nursing a grudge over the fact that she couldn't figure it out herself. Anyway, there was no one in the Rose Garden, and we were aware that the speech was set to start soon thereafter. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back to the Ambassador Alba to his office, pressing on that too. At that time, Damask II's body had yet to be found in this room, is that correct? That's right, but Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence. A criminal will say anything to get out of getting arrested. How do we know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Like I keep telling you, when I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill.
I can attest to that. Yeah, I was. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office.
Alright then, add that statement to your testimony and let's hear some details. So Ambassador Alba was in this room at the time, was he? So this is what we present. When I arrived, Ambassador Alba was wearing watering the flowers on the windowsill, but those don't need water, or what was it? 2 large flowers and blooms, the lives are supported by stakes and are still growing. There's gotta be something here. I'll press it, fuck it. If I can't find it, just press. For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill? What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on this side. However, the window is on the opposite side. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. He would have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Is that not correct? Hold on. I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him, but fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right? I suppose. After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself and is growing them with the utmost care, you know.
Yes, the plants in this room, they're all like my children.
The passion flowers in the flower box on the windowsill are growing beautifully, too. All 4 of them are in full bloom. 4 of them? 4 of them? 4? There's 2. 4 of them. Miss Von Karma, what did you say just now? I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement do you not understand? What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony. Very well, fine. There were 4 large passion flowers in full bloom in the flower box. No, there fucking weren't. And no, there weren't. And that's where these fucking hair sticks came from. No, there weren't. There's 2, idiot! We found our contradiction, but it doesn't help me at all. Francisca, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that, yeah, it looks that way, shit, yeah. Ha! I knew it! I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis! Mr. Edgeworth? What are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like this? Yeah, sir! If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir! Eek! All I've done is state what I saw. I've not made a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I'm still under suspicion for murder. Is this number of flowers really all that important in this juncture, Miles? At this juncture, Miles? At the very least, it is a contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Ha! Then let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? I believe the answer to that will become clear if we were to examine that flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy.
They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care, so I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth.
I understand. La-di-da-di-da. Oh, there's 2 holes. How the fuck has that always fucking been here? That's always been there and I just never noticed the 2 holes. That's crazy. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. We're back at it. This patch of soil looks as though it has had something removed from it. What are you doing, Mr. Prosecutor? Why'd you clam up all of a sudden? I'm still here waiting for an explanation, you know. Did you know, Agent Lang? Flowers are best appreciated in silence. It looks like 2 things were pulled out of this flower box. That's it? Oh, we should probably examine the flowers. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they are actually a species of vine. They appear to be growing well and are supported by these plant supporters. Yeah, but no matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only 2 here to me. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lie has failed you. Miles Edgeworth! Hurry up and shut this man up for me already! I suppose I will need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? Show evidence! I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require. Oh, you do you? You have such confidence in the face of your current plight, but I highly doubt that it'll last until the end. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang, but we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see the evidence. The truth the passion flowers reveal can be seen with this piece of evidence. The sticks! Sheena, who was supposedly in the ball the entire time, had these hair sticks on her that look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe that it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers. And so what? Who gives a fuck about some flowers? Is this really all that important to the case? Of course it is. It means that we've found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight. Think about it logically, Agent Lang, which I know is hard for you, but, you know, use all 6 doggy brain cells you have. These sticks were originally in Alabast, but somehow they wound up in Sheena's hands, who was in Babal the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and statue. Very well then. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babal. Fucking why? Why do I have to explain it? Who gives a shit why they were? That's all we need to fucking know, is that they were. Why do I have to explain every single fucking tiny fucking detail? My god. How did these support sticks find their way to Babal and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there. Aha! So that's why! I've got it! Urethra! Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape. It's just another stick, isn't it? And so it is. But the shape of the support sticks is what is important. For when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. What? And the object that completes the picture when used support sticks is... I don't know, give me a minute. Broly does not like to wait. The crossbow? Did they shoot the fucking sticks? That kind of goes crazy if true. Huge if true. Why does it look like he got his peanuts out? Sorry, I just like, that was a real like ADHD moment. I'm just like looking at this like, why he got his peanuts out? Why does Ambassador Alba got his peanuts out? Just like, it's unfortunate that this looks like him and then it sticks. Well, it looks like a more serious him, but still. Anyways, I mean, it's gotta be the fucking crossbow, right? which is fucking awesome. That's a crossbow. Wait, you're not really suggesting... I am. These hair sticks, or rather plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows. Ah! What the fuck, man? I've done it. I found the common thread that connects the two offices. But this thread has yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been who fired these sticks as arrows? There must be a common thread that ties all of these things together. Fucking not so fast! You're not allowed to finish the plot yet! We have 6 more hours of this case to record. Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. Yes, I'm fully aware of that, but please, go on. Give me more things to dissectify. I made that word up. Border Crossing Part 2. So Babal's statue was draped in the Yatagarasu's clothes and then shot over here? Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with a statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the Primadou statues didn't sprout wings. Stop with the sprouting wings, man! We get it! You're a realist after all, aren't you? The Primadou statues didn't sprout wings? What is with your obsession with things sprouting wings? Of course they didn't. Because that would be fucking stupid. Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact, dude. These two have a love language of calling each other fucking stupid. But, like, smartly. And I love it. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that the wings are necessary to this equation. What? What the fuck? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. My brain can't grow wings either. It's just like he just keeps thinking. He keeps thinking Miles is suggesting every single thing can sprout wings. The Primadou statue can't sprout wings. The arrows can't sprout wings. My brain can't sprout wings. Use your brain, Edgeworth. My God, it's like I'm not. You're really, like, projecting something onto me, and I'm not appreciating it. It's like... The Primadou statues flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time, and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. Cool. Can you explain it to me, too? Because I'm fucking lost. Alright. So, Babal's statue is draped in Yatagarasu's clothes and then shot over here. Can I, like, just, like, process where we're at? Wire. Gonna link the wire that was wound up inside Babal's grandfather clock. I don't think that would help a statue go flying. Yeah, no, congratulations. I'm fucking lost. Anyways, press. But that incredible scene just happened to have been caught on film, resulting in this photo. And what an incredible scene it was. This photo was taken by a freelance photojournalist, right? Oh yeah, fucking Lotta Hart made a cameo. Forgot. Not every photojournalist is known to be honest, right? Especially her. Didn't she lie in the original trilogy? I feel like, if I'm so honest, I feel like I need to replay the original trilogy because I just don't remember how it fucking went. But that would cost money, and I'm unemployed. Especially not the ones that sell photos of spirits and giant creatures to tablet. Alright. Alright, come on now. Come on now. Come the fuck on now. Yes, I know what you mean. I've seen those sorts of photos many a time in court. Somehow, you would think that someone would get their law degree taken away. Or they'd, like, you know, they'd just be arrested for some kind of contempt of court. But no. But there have been times when those photos have turned out to be telling the truth. if you had ever stood in a court of law, you would know that it's entirely plausible. Ha! You really believe the stuff you're spewing right now? A courtroom certainly is a strange place, if what you say is true. But there really is something odd about that photo, no matter how you look at it. Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with a statue tied to them. True. Get this man a true. But we are in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? Stop fucking with me, man! What I need right now is not further discussion of my conclusions. It's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statue themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statue. If it wasn't the statue that was tied to the arrows, then what did the crossbow launch? This is what we press. Wire, maybe? No, hold on. Let's go through everything. Oh, shit. The knife. The knife, right? The knife? I really don't want to lose a point for this, because I'm going to feel real stupid if I'm wrong, but the knife? Because how else would that have... How else... Sorry, I saw... Hold on. Wait, I saw something. Where's the... Some accolades are not obtainable if you enable story mode. Okay, I'll put it back on autoplay, I guess. I don't really need it. Plus, it feels like a cheat anyways. If it wasn't a statue that was tied to the arrows, then one of the crossbows not. That's what I'm like... It had to have been the knife, right? It had to have been the knife.
Objection!
So it wasn't the knife. Great. Understood. I've just gone back into story mode, haven't I? No, I'm on autoplay again. Okay. If it wasn't a statue, it was tied to the arrows. And what did the crossbow launch? It did not launch an entire fucking body. Wire? The cloth itself.
Objection!
Nope. Okay, I really thought I had something there. My thought was like they could cover it with the cloth to, you know. Wire.
Objection!
There we go. Okay. Finally, we have let me go back. Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Cochin's office. Oh, I didn't get that when you know, honestly, I didn't fully understand what I was saying when I suggested it. I'm glad you filled in the blanks for me. Really made me feel good. All the way from the fifth... That is Edgeworth. All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. If what you're claiming is really what happened... I can see how Alabast Primadou statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then what about Babal's Primaduce statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal. Gravity don't work that way. Going the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babalese embassy up to the 5th floor to the Alabastian embassy, how do you explain that? Aha! I think I finally see how the gears behind this whole trick work. Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick, I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion? That feels like a fucking JoJo's, like... That feels like the JoJo's, like, philosophy. This is some fucking do you believe in gravity type shit. This is some mechanisms. Like, that's what this fucking is. This is the gravity / mechanisms right now. That's part 10. That's what this is the part 10 thing. The motion used behind this trick. It's like, fucking, I might want that. Hold on. Anyways, motion. What motion? This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babal's rotary motion, swinging motion, bungee action. Well, that's not motion. Idiot. If they swung it, people would fucking know, but I also don't know how rotary motion would make sense. I'm gonna say swinging motion, but fucking... A swinging motion was employed. You sure you thought that went through, Mr. Prosecutor? Because if they used that, the statue would swing right into the building. Yeah, that's where I was like, yeah, that does have me there. For shame! You should sign yourself up for grade school physics for not realizing that. Alright, dickhead. No, yeah, you're... Alright, I'm at a loss of words to that. I need to calm down and think this through once more. There was only one feasible motion that could have been used to send the statue up. I want to say rotary motion, but I believe it was done via rotary motion. If the two statues were transported simultaneously... Rotary? Wait, am I thinking... Simultaneously? Get real! The statue would collide somewhere along the way. If you let me fucking finish, did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the two offices? Okay, in my defense, I was not thinking like a fucking ski hill lift. If I was thinking it was a looped thing like this, then like, yeah, I could have had something. If I was thinking like a ski hill lift, then maybe, but I wasn't. I didn't think about two fucking things. That's why I was like, okay, maybe they swung it and the perspective looks off. Fuck you, game, is my point. If you shot an arrow with two ends of a wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed. Not so fast. Lang Ji says don't object and call a success what is beyond reasonability. Taking into account the tension difference between the two wires, the top one would snag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyways. Objection, Agent Lang. As you know, the Primaduce statue is one-of-a-kind national treasure. And the fact that Babali's statue is a hollow replica of the real... You know what I just realized? Sorry, this is ADHD again. But the motion thing I was talking about, like, that's totally like a JoJo's thing. I think that is literally part 9. I know they got mechanisms, but it is also motion with the fucking lava rock. It's the same kind of shit. And the fact that Babal's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Lang Ji says, fuck you. He just gives up on like Sage. Lang Ji says, you're an asshole. I'm tired of you. You're just a dick. Lang Ji said that. Oh! Really? He said that? Here is what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirator set themselves up in the two different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down on one arrow. Then the two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to Babal, where it was to be disposed of. And to that, Miss Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock, QED. I... no idea what QED means. That was a very dog-like reaction, I will say. This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer! Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my desert... I think I need to go back to elementary school and learn how to fucking read. I haven't had my desert yet. I might just be fucking stupid. Not yes, sis. Not yes, sis. Where am I? Alright. Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. I almost said desert again. I'm gonna snap on everyone. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. Alright, we're playing off each other's wordplay? Ooh, what kind of sparks are flying here? So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. And just imagine Gumshoe being like, please, Mr. Wright, I don't want to go with him. What? No. What the? Why would I be talking about you? Kay's just like, is it me? Oh my god, I'm talking about Francisca. Fuck. Oh my god, you're all stupid. All right. I agree that as long as there is no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there is one more piece of evidence. One more? This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact. Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire I want to save because I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Why does it say story? I turned that off. Did I not turn that? It's off. Why does it still say story? The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire. I believe that it is right here in this very room. Again? I believe this is what made the circular belt transportation method possible. What? The statue? No, because they were bringing this. There's no way it's the ceiling fan. It's not going to be like the sword or the... Could it be the tree? Or the clock? I feel like it has to be the ceiling fan. Yeah. Ha! Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again. The last piece to the trick. Are two pulleys? Precisely. The ceiling fan doubles as pulleys in this case. And thanks to the fact that there is one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fans made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. I realized that was a dog howl, like, halfway through that, and I swapped it, like... I realized that this is actively a dog howl automatopoeia, and I changed that. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. It's turning into Bakugo. That's what it's turning into. I bet you figured it out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastian and Bubbly's offices. Are we saying it's the old man himself? We're really saying it's Quercus Alba? Ambassador Alba? Really? And that the passion flower support stakes could be used there. Okay, yeah, we're the real mastermind behind this case. Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food! Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do? A single point of the finger here. In this case, and this case will explode into an international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. Again with the momentum thing. I'm keeping this. I may use it. It appears that I have no choice now, but to rush in! I like that a lot. I like this dialogue. There is a piece of evidence that will point us to who the mysterious mastermind... Evidence? Oh, I wasn't prepared for that. Give me a second. I was really expecting a person. I was just gonna put this guy. The when you and the who when you is the you when you the when you the is the you when you you what you could when okay, there we go. Holy shit. I had no fucking clue. This smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big that Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both offices had ceiling fans tells us that the person has very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So, as you may have already guessed, the person I am accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. Thus, it can only be you, Quercus Alba!
Say that again, I didn't hear that.
Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? I'm certain of what I am saying, and I am sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there is one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. I'm going to save really, really quickly. If I make a new, just out of curiosity, if I make a new save, it's still gonna say story. Okay. All right, that's fine. If we were to examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. Fucking the fucking you when the you when you the when you when you when the where you got the you where you the wow you you what the who when what the when you when you the everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. But you when you fucking the you when the you were you when the you know you where you were you were flower. No, you want us to examine this? Yes, for I believe that by examining it, we will finally have all of our answers. Not so bad. No, we won't. Langji says, you're stupid and dumb, and I hate you. All evidence related to this case are fine and don't need to be explained again. It would appear that I was mistaken. I just want to hear his thing before I go back. Agent Lang is correct. Most of the evidence has already undergone intense scrutiny. However, there is one piece that has only been partially checked, and that piece, which lies at the heart of the smuggling, is what I should present. Like the knives? Is that what you're implying? The knives? To examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine the let me read it again. The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. It's the statue, right? Specifically this one? Yeah. Okay, sorry, I really did not process words correctly there. I would fully understand the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real Primadou statue for the fake, I sense a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. And who better to ask for that reason than King Primadou himself? I see. Ambassador will be examining that statue now, with or without your permission.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Aha! Handprint! These are Mr. Cochin's fingerprints. The fact that they're on here suggests that this statue once belonged to Babal. So it was smuggled from Babal to Alabast, huh? Oh my god, Kay, you're here, right. Why was there a need for them to smuggle it in? There's gotta be, oh. A shield, huh? There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about it. I bet it's supposed to mean that the guy is protecting something. I don't think it's supposed to have that deep of a meaning behind it. In that case, what are we wasting time with this for? Let's look at some other area. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look alike that he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador? I suppose that's possible. Take a look at this area around the base of his neck. It looks like a gap. Hey, you're right. Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret? Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction. What? Hurry up and open it, Miles! All right, here go. Well, would you look at that? Wow, it really did open up! Hey, what's this thing that fell out? I believe a more thorough examination of it is required. Is this counterfeit money? What in the... This is... Hey! Is this what I think it is? Counterfeit money? It's a plate for making counterfeit bills! Okay. Somehow, it appears that we've at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates, and the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabast to begin with. Ah, this was found from within the fake Primadou statue Alba smuggled into his country. The Primadou statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat, and the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make this statue the ideal object in which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Sheena, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damask II. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damask II and fucking killed him. Ignore that. Then, in order to frame the Steel Samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Which wasn't the best plan, but you know. Well, Ambassador Alba, what do you have to say to me, like, actively telling you how this went? You're the leader of the smuggling ring? My country is a mess, and it's all because of you? You're the one who killed Damask II? Answer us! I feel so bad for my dad. He came back to the house in the middle of me doing this shit.
I never thought that you would figure things out to this level.
Damn, you're admitting it?
However, there is one point I disagree with you on.
Just one? Okay.
The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin.
No, that don't make no sense. Quit screwing around. I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass a guilt on a dead man. If there's one thing I'm sure of, it's that you're the real ringleader, Quercus Alba.
It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang.
I said that horribly, but we're gonna move on. Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation.
Logic and investigation. Only seconds ago, you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flip-floppy logic any real weight, do you?
Well, it's going well. I'm sorry, Dad.
Huh?
I'm also confused, actually. What? It looks like you still don't get why I came back.
Excuse me?
Are we gonna kill him? You see, the reason I came back is so that I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. From the very beginning, my real target has been you.
What?
Agent Lang, I demand an explanation. Sorry, sis. I didn't mean to put you through all that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning. You did? What? Oh, it was bait. It was bait. Okay. I knew that this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for. So naturally, the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around. Ah, so that's why you put on this big show to accuse Francisca of the murder. Using Francisca as the bait, you were able to gain us entry and investigative rights. Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given the okay to poke around. Okay, you know what? That's smart. I'll give him that. I'm gonna mute real quick. Hold on. Think we're good? Maybe? I'm gonna say we're good. So that's what all this was about. Very well, I will forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth. Agent Lang, for giving me such a great opening, I thank you. That was alright. You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor, that somehow, if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room, that you would be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brand of logic. The evidence detective... Okay, yeah, no, that is right. The evidence detectives collect, combined with the logic of a prosecutor, that's just as it should be in the prosecutor-detective team, right? I don't know about all that. But one thing I do know is that I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him.
I'm Santa but evil. You're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you?
I'm trying to give him like a tinge of evil in his voice now. Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guilt onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged me.
Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you have what it is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring.
Objection! Don't be such a sore loser, you fucking dick! Sorry. If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity.
Dignity? That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like to first see some of this thing you call evidence. I tell you, I knew nothing, really. I didn't even know that a counterfeit plate was hidden inside that statue.
Objection? You swapped a real statue that vested in your country the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything.
It doesn't make sense? Where doesn't it make sense? Show me the not make sense part. Can you prove that it doesn't make sense?
He's really got us. He's turned the entire situation around against us.
I'm like 87,000 years old. How old is he actually? 72.
The proof that Interpol has been after which points to this man as the ringleader. If we can somehow find that proof now, then we can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? Oh, the gun. Then 3. The trump card and videotape. With those 2 items, we might be able to finally bring this man down, but the card is evidence from a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. No matter what, a prosecutor of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. Oh, Jesus Christ! Alright,
Needless to say, we von Karmas are commanded to achieve nothing but victory, and by any means necessary.
The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. Oh, you're about to break your morals, and it's gonna be awesome. I no longer follow the path of Manfred von Karma. And I won't follow the path of the Yatagarasu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law, and what is justice? And which path is a prosecutor supposed to follow? That choice is one I must make by my own hand. Is this a splitting path in the story? I'm gonna save it in the event it is. I'll save both because I truly would want to know. For now, though, I'm gonna pick the cool option, use the trump card. There is no limit to the law. Any limit that exists is set there by man. When a person goes beyond that limit, then the law too crosses into new territory. For what reason were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must now show. Ambassador Alba, I wonder if you might recognize this.
Oh, I wonder what that card is. I've never seen it before in my life. Oh, I'm 72.
It's a directives card used by the leader of the ring to relay instructions to his subordinates.
Oh, is that what it is?
This card was sent to the real culprit behind the KG-8 incident 10 years ago. A man by the name of Mr. Manny Cochin.
Oh, so why do you have such a card in your possession?
Because it was hand-delivered to me. By a certain great thief, the Yatagarasu!
The Yatagarasu gave that to you? Don't talk nonsense, and let's be serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you have any proof that the card contains directions from the ringleader?
I'll have you know that the card is not the only thing I was given.
What?
This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of the KG-8 incident.
The KG-8 incident?
The card and the video. These 2 pieces of evidence are what will seal your fate.
Oh, very interesting. I must admit, I am very curious now. Very curious indeed in these case-deciding pieces of evidence you've presented.
The prey the Yatagarasu has been chasing all this time now stands before me. I can't allow this man, who has had free reign for 10 long years, to simply walk away. Now is the time for me to bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me. Oh, shit! Whoa! I kind of want to keep going, but I also feel like this is a really good stopping point, and I feel like I'm not gonna get another good stopping point for a long-ass time. Do I stop? Do I go? Let me, hold on. With the power of that one video I was watching to see where the fuck I am, let's just put on music real quick so that we're not just sitting in, silence here. Let's put other Ace Attorney music. Why not? Let me just, let me see real quick, and I'm also gonna loop this music, and depending on how long this takes. YouTube, the power of YouTube, but on an incognito tab so I don't accidentally spoil myself. Ace Attorney Investigations, Chapter 5. Well, none of these are the, okay, this is the video I was using as reference.
You wouldn't.
I don't want to hear your ad. Fuck off. Anyways, alright, Turnabout Ablaze. So we're right here in the okay, so damn, I feel like that's just gonna be it. If we start, I feel like if we continue, I think we're just gonna, yeah, I think we should save and call it here. I think we should. Just because that's such a good stopping point, and I don't think we're gonna get another good one like that. So, with that said, let's end the stream here. Just because, like, I know it's like, I'm doing like shorter and shorter streams with this game, but my only reason this time is because, like, that's gonna be such a good, like, ender, like we're done with this case. I'm confident we are done with this case after this. So we're gonna end here, and then next time we're gonna be done with this. I say done with this game when we're done with the first game in this, like, collection. But damn, I don't even know what the fuck to thumbnail that. Whatever, I'll figure it out. All right, YouTube outro, and then we're done here. Video on the top right is the last time I played this game, in case you want to know how we got to this moment. Video on the bottom right is fucking a thing that YouTube recommended. I genuinely forgot the script. That's something YouTube recommended, and you should click it because they know your taste better than I do. The thing by my feet, that's the subscribe button. If you click it, it shows me that you like what I'm doing, and it makes me want to do it more. But let's be honest, I'm too far in to stop this game now, so teehee. All right, bye-bye.